And I did not think I was gonna end up crying. Oh my gosh. Hi guys. I literally don't even know how to start a video by myself. What do I say? I have my baby. You guys see my little baby? How are you guys doing today? It is Angelina here. Obviously Jocelyn's not here. I'm gonna be doing a little birth story, like my labor and delivery kind of story. It was very traumatic. And yeah, he's 1 week old, so I figured I would do like a little update on him today as well. I literally can't believe he's already a week. Well, he's 8 days, so he's 1 week and 1 day. But I figured I would just make a little video and tell you guys about what happened when he came into this world. So I know if you guys watch our previous video, you would see that we said it like a little bit. So I said I would make a separate video and like really go in depth to what happened. But if you did watch our previous video, you know that I had an emergency C-section. And that was like the last thing that I expected to ever happen. Like, I knew it was a possibility, but I didn't think it was gonna happen to me. I'm honestly very happy that it happened, and I wish it would have happened sooner. That's like the only kind of complaint that I really have, except my doctor, but I'll go into that in a little bit. As you saw, we went to the doctor's on Tuesday, June 21st, and they did a 40-week stress test. And if you don't know what that is, it's a test that they do on the baby to see how they're handling being in your womb past 40 weeks, because 40 weeks is full term and they're supposed to be out by 40 weeks. So clearly he wasn't trying to come out by himself, but I was having some contractions when we were at the doctor's office. So basically they just hook up these 2 monitors to your stomach, and it measures the contraction and they like his heartbeat. So I was getting contractions like every 5 minutes. They weren't really progressing at that time, but I was having some contractions. One of the contractions, it only happened like once, the doctor said in the office, but he had a little bit of a heart deceleration, which means that he wasn't really handling the contraction as well as he should have been. And it only happened once, so it wasn't like too concerning. But because I am 40 weeks and I was having contractions, they wanted to send me up to the labor and delivery room to be monitored a little bit longer to see if it was going to be kind of a consistent thing, to then progressively do something to get him out. Mind you, my induction date was set for that Thursday, so 3 days after my doctor's appointment if he didn't come out. I chose an early induction because I really just wanted him out, and they gave me the opportunity, so I took it. But we didn't need to be induced. The doctor came in, told us that they wanted to send us to labor and delivery. Like, she checked me to see if I was dilated. She said I was like a 3. She's very generous with her numbers, let me tell you. And so she did like a membrane sweep. I don't know if you are familiar with that, but basically when they try to naturally put you into labor and they like take the membranes like off your, like they open up your cervix basically, kind of to try to get labor naturally progressing. Like 50 or like 70% of face, you're able to do it, and you have to be at least like a centimeter, a little bit. So anyway, she said I was 3. When I got to the hospital, I really wasn't like a total 3, so she was being nice with her numbers. But because of the membrane sweep, I really think that put me into active labor. We got to the hospital at like 11 o'clock in the morning. Wouldn't let me eat. So let me tell you, I didn't eat anything before we went to our doctor's appointment because I did not think that I was going to the hospital. We had nothing. Like, we took Jocelyn's car and all his stuff was in my car. So we literally went to the hospital with nothing, but they wanted to monitor him because he wasn't handling the contractions well. So anyway, we get there, they check me, I'm about like a 2.5. And so I tried walking around. They wanted to monitor me first and make sure I was getting admitted, do some blood work. They tried checking me. They didn't know if my water they tried to break my water, and she couldn't break my water because his head was like putting so much pressure on my pelvis that they couldn't like break the water. So his water didn't break until like the C-section. And then we like walked around, as you guys saw, took a bath, and let me tell you, those contractions hurt so bad. Like, the contractions are literally the worst part of the labor, and Johnson really had to embarrass me on the video and put all my business out there when I was contracting. That junk hurt so bad, let me tell you. So I was contracting, and then around 8 o'clock they checked me, and I was about a 5. So that was really nice, and I labored all by myself until 5 centimeters. And if you're a mom, you know, like, I did it. Like, I'm so proud of myself, because those contractions, I'm telling you, they're the worst thing ever. They ended up giving me some pain medicine at that point because I just could not handle it. I was like bawling my eyes out. It literally feels like someone's like taking you and just going like this, but I had all back labor. I really didn't have any contractions in the front. If I did, those were tolerable and they were comfortable, but all my labor was in my back because he was putting so much pressure because of his position. So it hurt so much worse. And if you had back labor, you know, a little bit of a nap, and I was like out of it. Like, I was awake and I was feeling the contractions, but the pain medicine just made me not care. Like, that's all it did. Like, it still hurt really bad. Not as bad, obviously, but I was just so, like, unresponsive, and I was so exhausted. But it helped me take a nap, and I just woke up, and I just couldn't deal with the pain anymore. So then they rechecked me, and that's when they said that I was a 5. So I was probably like a 4 when I got the medicine. Who even knows? But yeah, they checked me at 5, and I gave in and I got the epidural, and it was the best decision that I ever made. Like, I heard so many horror stories about the epidural, like, ever since I was like a younger teenager, like, just everything. Like, don't get the epidural, it's horrible. I had this experience, this experience. Honestly, if you're in labor, get the freaking epidural. It was the best thing that I ever did. Like, I love the epidural. Let me tell you, I didn't even feel him do it. He did a really good job on it. I had no problems with it at all. It was how it was supposed to be done, from, you know, like, the waist down. Basically couldn't feel anything, so it was really amazing. I could not have done labor without the epidural. Now, we didn't get to have any like support people in the room except Josh's son, so I didn't really have anybody there to like advocate for me or speak up for me or help me, because it's Josh's son and I's first baby. So he was just going with the flow, like with what the doctor said, because what do we both know? Like, this is our first time, we've never done this, we don't know, and so we were just like going with the flow with the doctors, what they were saying. And after I got the epidural, I literally got to sleep through the whole entire night. It was amazing. They came and checked me, and I was still progressing because I got it in the middle of active labor. So that is a tip. Like, if you're gonna get it, make sure you're kind of in active labor, or else it really can slow the progression of everything. Now, what we didn't know was going to happen was that he was going to be stuck in my pelvis, and he wasn't going to be able to move down into a positive position. Now, I labored for over 26 hours, so at a total of 26 hours. So about 9 o'clock in the morning, they checked me, and about like 8 o'clock actually, she came in and checked me, and she said I was like stuck at a 7. Now, they had to end up putting like fluid in my uterus. I'm not sure what kind of fluid it was. I really don't know. And so I was like, I had a catheter, I had fluid, I had just all this other stuff going on. And so when she checked me and said I was only about a 7 at 8 o'clock in the morning, she wanted to kind of get things pushing along. So she ended up putting me on Pitocin, which is natural oxytocin to make your labor progress and give you more contractions. So he'll like move down and fully dilate me to 10. On the Pitocin, around 9 o'clock is when they started asking me to push, because I ended up progressing to 10 centimeters after I got on the Pitocin. So they wanted me to start pushing, so I did. At first I thought I was like not doing it right. Like, I'm like pushing with my face. I couldn't feel anything because of the epidural. So like I literally was like, they were telling me when I was having a contraction. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I never took any laboring classes. And let me tell you, I was by myself. So I literally had just Josh's son. I didn't have my mom. I didn't have Josh's son's mom. They were on FaceTime. So Josh's son's mom and my mom were both on FaceTime on both of our phones. And they were just like set up, and they were literally watching me push for 2.5 hours. Stuck in my pelvis that after 2.5 hours of pushing in every freaking position you could think of, even with the epidural, I was standing up trying to push him out because I was just like, get this baby out of me. But anyways, the doctor comes up and she's like, let's try one more thing. And this is the worst part because she shouldn't have done this. Like, she should not have went out of her way to even recommend this. She tried to vacuum his head out, and she thought it might work and push him down, but he was so high up that I don't even know why she thought it was gonna work, because usually you're doing when they're already in the canal. He wasn't even in the canal. So she tried vacuuming him out, and he just was not tolerating it at all, and his heart rate went to 180, I believe. They said like 200, but I don't think it was 200. But everything was going crazy. Like, the nurses were like, we're done, we're calling it quits. All the nurses were like arguing and having an attitude because they were so stressed out because of the doctor. She was like, no, let's just do it one more time. And at that point, I'm like, you're my doctor, you know. And it was just so crazy. At one point, his heart monitor fell off of my belly because he was so low that they couldn't find a heartbeat, and it was just a very scary moment. I'm like, just take me for a C-section. So I got into the C-section room. They were all arguing about if they were going to put me under or just give me a spinal. They were able to they wanted to put me under because I already had the epidural, but I was like, no, please just give me the spinal. I want to be awake, and I want Josh's son to be able to be in the room so he could be there for the birth of his son. And so he just literally ripped my epidural out, gave me a spinal, laid me down, and they literally had him out within 10 minutes. Like, when I tell you, but as soon as they laid me down, I felt like I had a truck sitting on my chest. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I couldn't talk. Like, I literally felt like I was out of my body, and I was like screaming at them, but I was like whispering. I couldn't yell, raise my voice. I ended up getting really nauseous, so Josh's son wasn't really able to be in the room for really too long, but he was able to cut his umbilical cord and watch him come out. So I'm happy that he was able to be there for the baby. And I'm happy that I wasn't put to sleep, because I would have like missed out on like 3 extra hours of his life. And I was taken to the recovery room, and he had already done most of his tests, and Josh's son was there, and they were able to get him all good. He literally came out crying. He's like so perfect, and he handled everything so well. We went to the doctors a couple days later, and they told us that he has a little bit of like a water spot on the back of his head. It's like right here, I think. Yeah. They said that it was either when he was stuck in my pelvis for so long, or that when she tried to vacuum him out, it just happened. So the doctor said it's gonna like calcify, but it's not gonna be like something that goes away in a couple of days. It's gonna be a couple months. So we have to keep an eye on it, be extra careful with him. But it was so worth it, and I wish they would have just like known after like 45 minutes of pushing like he wasn't coming. Especially because I told every single doctor that came in the room, my mom never had a natural birth. My grandma, her mom, never had a natural birth. My aunt, her sister, never had a natural birth. So no one on my mother's side of the family has ever had a natural birth. They all had C-sections because our pelvises are just really narrow, and we just don't have like wide hips, I guess. So the doctors knew that it was kind of like the odds were against me for a natural birth, and I wish they would have just called it quits sooner. But as soon as he was born, I really forgot about all the pain, and it was just so worth it to have him there. And I would literally do it all over again for him. Like, I forgot about the contractions. I know they hurt really bad. That's all I remember, but I don't really remember them. Like, it's so weird how people really say you forget, because you really do. But anyways, he's a week old now, and we got home after how many days?
3 or 4.
2. He was 2 days old, right?
Yeah.
So we came home after like 2 days, because after my surgery, it was like 5 or 6 hours later, I got up and I started walking, and I felt so good after my surgery, and usually people say that you're like out of it for like a couple days, you can't do it, and I really forced myself to get up and make it a point to not sit down. They told me the more I do that, the quicker I would heal. It's day 8 and I haven't taken any medicine in 2 days. So 5 days postpartum I stopped taking my medicine, which has been so nice, and I just totally feel like more like myself. I mean, I'm still adjusting, and he's still adjusting, and we're still trying to figure out a routine. We don't really have one, but I am breastfeeding by like pumping through a bottle. So he is nursing sometimes, but we're mostly just giving him bottles, which has helped out so much because he's able to sleep longer. I feel like he's getting a really good feeding. He's not really attached to me too much. Like, he's able to take a binky and he's able to soothe himself, and it's really nice. So I'm happy that I'm able to produce as much milk as I do. I am an overproducer, if you wanted to know. As soon as I saw him and I tried giving him formula, my heart literally just could not take it, and I'm like, my little baby deserves the best, which fed is best, but I knew that I wanted to breastfeed after just seeing him and the connection that I got with him when I did it. It was like amazing. It kind of makes me want to cry because I just love him so much, and I'm literally crying now because of, I just love this little boy so much, let me tell you. He is the best thing that ever happened to me and Josh's son, and I couldn't be more grateful to be his mom, and he's literally the cutest little thing ever. Oh, he's so tiny. He was 6 pounds 8 ounces if you guys watched our other video, and 19.5 inches long. He like literally been sleeping all day, so he really needs to wake up. Goodness. Look at my little baby Jazier. He's so cute. I'm just so obsessed.
Baby boy.
Yeah, so I will do more updates on him like as he gets older and stuff every month, I think, maybe for his first year. We're gonna try. And yeah, I'm gonna go wake him up and try to change his diaper and get ready for our guests. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like the video and share it. This was our pretty traumatic labor and delivery story, but everything worked out and we're doing so amazing. So thank you everybody for your support, and we will see you in our next video.
Gang gang.